Hello and welcome to episode 12 of the Big Baby Daddy Cast. I am your host, Josh Vasquez, joined by my co-host, Giovanni Pacheco.
Hello.
Josh Sims.
Hello.
Manny Santiago.
What's going on, guys?
And holy shit, Katie, hi. How you doing?
Hi.
You have a last name, and I don't know what that last name, how to pronounce that last name, so why don't you enlighten us?
It's Hagley.
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 What did I say?
Hi.
Hi. Okay. Okay. Katie, hi. How you doing? You are, guess what?
What?
You
What?
are our first female guest on the Big Baby Daddy Cast, so that is a major breakthrough because we have been trying to look for a female to join us. And thank you for joining us. Thank you for being with us here. And thank you guys out there for joining us. It's been a while. It's been about what, two and a half weeks, guys, since we've done the podcast?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, we apologize for that. Life happens, you know. Things go down and we have to readjust. So we're back. We're episode 12, 1-2. We've been doing this for 12 weeks plus the days that we didn't do one. So I don't know math that well.
Plus the lost episode.
Yeah, the lost episode, which will be under premium content when the site goes premium. Whenever I decide to make the site go premium. So here we are. We got 4 daddies, 1 mommy. We're gonna start with the 4 daddies. Gio, what's up? How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. It's been a long week. I just started school again. So I've been doing online classes, trying to finish up my last 6 classes so I can graduate in IT. So it's been very rough trying to get back into the swing of things.
That's cool. I think that it's always rough starting, but once you get a little rhythm to it, once you get going, it gets a lot easier. And one of the things in IT that they teach you, when you do a podcast, you generally don't want to be chewing bubblegum because it's really distracting to the viewer.
I'm not chewing bubblegum. It's just I have cramps in my jaw, so I have to constantly be going like this.
Oh, I see. It's very common
Yes.
thing that we have to deal with nowadays. I see.
I don't want everybody to smell my hot, stinky breath.
Right. Because technology, right?
Yes,
Yep,
exactly.
yeah.
It's evolving every day. You never know these times. You never know.
Mr. Manny Santiago, how are you doing? Your shirt is red. I love it.
Yeah, man. It's right in there. I'm doing okay. We've been doing a lot of work where I'm at, so I finally got some time off after a long time of long week, and so I'm here now, and I'm really enjoying this day off. And I'm glad to be here, man. Just kind of happy to get back into it because I miss this. This is the kind of thing I like to do. Is just kind of sit down with you guys and talk about video games, talk about stuff that I love doing on my free time. And you couldn't believe, like, whenever I would have like a moment, like after coming off of my 12-hour shift, and I get home, and I was like, man, I could go to sleep, or I can turn on my Vita, play for 5 minutes, and then go to sleep. It's like, I'll play for 5 minutes. I'll spare that. It's totally worth it. And I was like, oh my God, I miss you so much, and then go to sleep.
Well, that's good. And my apologies for the video portion. You might get a little bit of the borders around the Skype thing, but I'm just trying to make sure that everybody can see everybody right now. Coming in via satellite from across the globe, Mr. Josh Sims. I'm putting way too much effort into this hosting deal, right? I'm going above and beyond. But fuck it, that's what we do here at the Big Baby Daddy Cast, right? Josh, how you doing?
I've been not too bad. I've been working a lot, trying to get some personal stuff done so I can, move on with the life and actually get back to normal civilization.
So you're out like camping?
I'm at sea right now.
A seaman, nice. I like that.
Yes. Yes.
I love me a good seaman. I bet you know a lot about fish.
Just
Yes.
No pun intended or anything. He
And-
does love it.
Well, now we have to remember we have a female in the room, so we have to be.
Oh, shh.
We have to
Yeah, we do.
we have to mind our P's and our Q's. Do you know what that means? P's and Q's. What does that mean?
I have no idea.
My dad always used to tell me you want to mind your P's and Q's when you're outside.
Well, you're Mr. Google. Why don't you look it up?
I need to Google how many. So, Katie.
Oh, so bad that you can't see him.
Hey, Katie.
Higgins.
Katie Higgins is going to be your name.
No, it's Higley. I'm sorry.
Higley.
What the hell am I talking about?
Katie.
Close
Then just change it each podcast or every
Okay.
time you want to say it.
So-
we'll just go with a different name.
This podcast is going to be Katie Higgins. So,
Okay.
welcome to the Organized Chaos. How are you? Who are you? And why are you here?
I'm good. Who am I? Still a mystery to me. Just a mom that likes playing games. And the reason I'm here is because somebody talked me into it. I won't mention any names right now.
Did he have a gun
Yes,
to
there
your
are.
head, or was a gun involved?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
I'm sorry. You told me not to mention that, babe, but
Sorry, I strapped her down to a chair and I forced her to listen to all these.
Listen, what you guys do on your own mommy daddy time, that's entirely up to you. Well, we are happy to have you, Katie. We look forward to your insight into the things that we do here on the Big Baby Daddy Cast and the things that we do on the site. Hopefully we can get you in as a regular contributor. So welcome. And like I said, we are happy to have you.
thank you.
You're welcome. Katie Higgins,
I don't
everybody.
think you'll be saying that here in a little bit. You'll be like, oh my God, please shut up.
I was just going to say that. So, gosh, you talk too much, Katie.
Sorry.
So, like we said earlier, we are part of thegamermind.com, and thegamermind.com has recently been given a little bit of a facelift. Pardon our dust while we rectify certain things on the site. We're trying to make it more user friendly. We're trying to make it more the user ability to be able to go to exactly where you need to go, whether it's an article, whether it's a video. We're constantly trying to put more stuff on the site, and hopefully that in the next couple months we'll see a drastic, more of a drastic overhaul in how we present our content to you, the viewer, and things like video and audio quality go up. And that's where we're at. So if anybody has any alibi or anything else,
The one thing I want to say in regards to the site, you really need to thank that guy that did those pictures for us. That was an awesome freaking job.
Yeah, you know what? If you haven't been to the site recently, we updated our about page and we updated the pictures. And I had commissioned a person on this website, not a website, it's actually a service. It's called Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com. And the username of the gentleman that got us our portraits done, he goes by the name of Hironan, Hironan. So if you want to look him up, first go to the site. Obviously, look at the portraits. He did a fantastic job on our portraits, and I just want to give a shout out to him. Obviously, it comes with a price, but for what we paid, I mean,
Yeah. Josh thanked them with money.
yeah, I thanked him by paying his PayPal account. But other than that, I mean, he did a fantastic job.
Oh, yeah.
And I
Yeah, it was
think
That's
really
the best picture I have, man. That's the only good picture I'll ever have.
isn't it
Animated.
funny that it's a
could have trimmed your hair.
cartoon caricature of you is your most favorite picture?
Yeah, everything else is not as good as that. That's
Well, it's like a metaphor. It's like in its most simplistic nature, who you are is the most beautiful person you'll ever be. So without the imperfections, and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. The point is, this guy did a good job. And Hironan, thank you very much. Appreciate your help. And I think that once Katie gets her bearings and she stops being so what's the word? Shy.
Talkative.
And,
Okay.
and yeah, once you stop talking so damn much and interrupting me, we'll see if we can get you your own portrait of yourself. So now, without further ado, let's kick this stuff off with the nostalgia. So the nostalgia portion of the podcast, we're going to focus on how we felt when we were kids, playing a video game, and in so doing...
Camera shot.
I'm sorry? Are we all still here?
hey,
I'm
Jerry,
sorry.
you got something to
I'm
say?
here. Yeah, we're listening to you.
Gio, I think your your video is coming in a little not coming in at all. So while we wait for Gio to iron out his
I think it's a clapboard system.
his internet connection. So we want to talk about games that we dreamt up of as kids. And Josh, I'm going to go to you first. So let's say you're a child, you're 6, 7, 8 years old, and you're playing a video game, and you stop and you say, well, this would be my ideal game. This is the game that I would dream up of if I were the one making a video game. So tell me, like, now I'm talking to 6-year-old Josh. What would be your favorite video game at that time?
Oh God, I actually had a really messed up childhood. I was into horror movies back then, and I always loved RPG games, if you can imagine. I really want, even now to this day, because I love the series, The Walking Dead. I want them to build a Walking Dead series video game, RPG based, where you create your own character, and it's just like how Mass Effect, Star Wars, all those classic RPG games, where they each decision you make has a different it can affect the play of the game.
Okay, so you're thinking basically like an open world kind of RPG to where it's set in the universe of The Walking Dead. What about maybe if you could be like a zombie? Like, would you be able to choose a side?
Now that too. Like, yeah, if you say, I don't know, maybe they captured you and they trained you to help them or something. I mean, granted, it's gonna not be hard to kill you, but for other people to kill you, but at least you could help protect your group from the zombies, or just go out and, like how Call of Duty was, and just like infect people.
Right. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. I would never have thought of that. That's a great idea. Now, how would the story base? Would it be kind of like a Fallout thing where you make your own story, or would it be something like follow the nature of the books?
I really don't like when it goes into a book. I like it where it can just it would just basically be your own. You go. Say you're playing like a survivor. You're going around, you're scavenging house to house, looking for any, weapons or anything like that, anything that can be useful. And then using that. And it's not, like DLC content, you can go from one town to another town or another state or whatever, and, use vehicles and whatnot too, if you come across them and they have gas and they actually work or whatever. And just, try to, they'll maybe set up a place where it's an actual save zone, but you kind of have to find clues of where it's at. It could either be, within, the state you're in, or it could be in the United States, or it can even be fucking halfway across, all the way across, in Europe or Germany or whatever. Nice. It's just your point of trying to survive long enough to actually get there.
Okay. That's actually not a bad idea. I think I might change my answer to that question. So we have an open world, zombie-based, Walking Dead-esque game where you can choose to be either faction, and DLC will be based on different countries, different vehicles, things like that. So that's pretty interesting, Josh. What about you, Manny? What was your ideal video game as 7 or 8 year old Manny?
Well, I remember back then I was kind of playing a lot of PlayStation 1 games, and I was really into Dragon Ball. So I was always thinking that I would love to play a Dragon Ball game that was an adventure game that you could fly around and whatever. So my perspective was I would want to see a third person game where you could fly around and do whatever, and then do your fights. And later on, whenever Dragon Ball kind of went through a phase where they were doing like side games, like 2D fighting games, 2D and a half. Maybe
2.5D.
Yeah, like the 2.5D. Whatever. They had Budokai, and then they went to the Tenkaichi series, and I was like, this is the game I've always wanted to play. And the game was crap. Well, it was so-so. And but to me, it was amazing because it was exactly what I've always wanted to play. That was how I envisioned the game, and that's how they made the game exactly how I wanted to play it. It wasn't an adventure game, but it was close enough. You could fly around a level, fight the people, and that's what I always dreamed of. And the interesting thing is, as a kid, I would draw out thinking like the PlayStation controller, like, oh man, well, in order to fly up, I would, press this button, and then in order to fly down, I would do this, and and when I was playing the game, the buttons pretty much matched up to what I was always dreaming about as a kid. So that was the type of game that I was always thinking about, and it was amazing, at least, that I was given an opportunity in my life to play something that I wasn't part of the development team at all, but they were thinking the same thing I was.
Right. So kind of they without you actually getting into their minds or telling them, they actually did that for you.
I must have been using the secret, like
the mind meld. And as an adult, what game would you most like to see envisioned now?
I think the things I always kind of think about now are a little different. I like a lot of the interactive story and adventure. Not so much the shooting part of it. So I would love to see more of a playable movie.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And they kind of do that, like the games like Heavy Rain and whatnot. But an actual movie you go watch that, somebody played the game and then they're going to showcase like the movie, like how it all played out. And then the other thing that I was thinking of was like, how you have your games like Final Fantasy Tactics? So instead of kind of seeing the game in this most basic play style, have it be a little bit more dynamic. Like you make all your decisions and then you watch everything play out. Kind of like Transistor, right, except a lot more movie-like. Like, oh, well, I'm going to move, like, here's all my decisions of what's going to happen, and then it'll show you what happens in movie form. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And to me, that would be amazing if they could get, like, a game that has that, top-down. It's not RTS. What are those called? Like turn-based strategy?
Turn-based strategy, yes.
Yeah, so a turn-based strategy game where you make your decisions and you watch everything play out in a very cinematic form. And after all your decisions like play out, like you could say, oh, move this guy here, and then as this guy's attacking, if you place another guy to defend your guy, then he's, he becomes vulnerable, but he'll, like, let's say if somebody like shoots an arrow at you, well, this other guy will throw something to like deflect that arrow or something like that. So basically
the action would stop amidst you making your decisions in the game, and then you can just sit back and just watch it play out.
That's right.
Gotcha. That seems pretty cool. Hey, Katie.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm good.
I'm not going to give you something as that difficult to start off your first podcast because we're going to pop your podcast virginity today. I want to know, being a big baby daddy and you being a big baby mommy or a slim baby mommy, I don't want to. When did you start playing video games?
I played a little bit when I was younger, but then when I got to be a teenager, I didn't really get into it too much. And then just here recently, I've gotten back into it.
So what was the driving? Oh, there was an external influence that got you back to playing video games.
The same unmentionable name that got me into the podcasting. So,
well, we thank that.
God, what a demanding bastard!
He is right? Very demanding. He's almost like a woman.
Yes. So now you have two mommies, not just one.
Yeah, we're gonna have to edit this whole podcast to be like the Big Baby Daddy, Mommy, Daddy, Baby Daddy, Mommy cast. Anyway, so as a child, what kind of games did you like to play?
Well, there really wasn't too many options because I kind of had to play with what my brothers already had. Uh-huh. So it was like Super Mario or Bejeweled because it came with the system. And then I kind of got into Mortal Kombat a little bit.
Nice. Which Mortal Kombat was it? Was it the one for the Super Nintendo or?
I think it was the Super Nintendo.
Okay. Okay. So now as an adult in your adulthood, what what games did you think that you missed out on? Like what games as an adult now do you think that you would have enjoyed playing back in the day?
Back in the day, like everybody was always into Zelda and stuff like that. I could never really get into that, and maybe if I would have pushed myself, I might have liked it.
Right. So
But other than that, not really too many other ones.
so you have basically kind of like a good understanding of game mechanics, and you talk about Zelda, you talk about Super Mario. What is your ideal video game now as an adult? Like what video game would speak to you as an adult now that you would be like, oh, I gotta go out and I gotta get this game.
Oh my gosh, thought you weren't
Yes,
going to do the
Grand
hard
Theft Auto.
questions.
Put you kind of on the spot now, didn't I?
You kind of did.
Well, how about
Um,
this? Let's feed into maybe the parenting aspect. What video games do you allow your children to play?
well, since my daughter's, she's 16 now, so I don't really put too much of a restriction on her. She just isn't, she can't play a lot of motion games. She gets motion sickness easily.
That's interesting. That's really
So,
interesting.
but she does like the zombie game on Call of Duties. That was her favorite game,
Wait,
but she couldn't
time
play it.
Time out. I'm throwing the yellow flag right in there. You're telling me that your daughter is 16, she has motion sickness, but one of her favorite games to play is
A first person
a
shooter.
first person shooter. Not only a first person shooter, but a zombie first person. I've played Call of Duty Zombies. Me and Gio have played Call of Duty Zombies, and I get dizzy just thinking about it. So
Yes.
that's
Well, it also depends on how long you play, though.
okay.
Yeah, she could only play it for a little bit before she'd have to take a break from it.
Oh, she's not playing like 4 or 5 hour sessions at 3 o'clock in the
Like
morning.
Oh,
Like we used
Yeah,
to.
she's not like us.
That's very interesting.
no. Even when she plays GTA, she can only race for a little bit before she gets motion sickness too.
Wow. Oh, geez. Okay. I never considered motion sickness to be that. I mean, it was prevalent when we were younger. I used to, have friends that would be able would get motion sickness when they would play video games, and this is just like on the old CRT TVs. But I would figure that kids that are like 16, 17 years old now, they're always on their phone and they're always playing mobile games. I wouldn't think that motion sickness would be a thing for them. Did she always have this, or did it just kind of develop playing video games?
No, she's always had it. Like going on backcountry roads, she couldn't even look out the window. She'd have to just lay down in the back seat.
Oh, jeez. Do you have motion sickness?
No, I can play any game. I can even read in the car, and it doesn't bother me.
See, I can't do that. I'm good, in a car, looking out the window. Even when I was younger, and I'd be on a drive and whatnot, sitting in the back seat with my face glued to the window, going, "Ooh, look at that!" You put me in the back seat with a book or a comic or whatever. My stomach is doing a hula hoops.
Yeah, I think I'm the same way. If I'm on a flight or something, I can't read. I've tried it, and for some reason, my equilibrium, my proprioception gets all juiced out, and I'm just like, I gotta just sit back and just put my head back and just relax for a little bit. But
That's why I bring a DVD player on a plane for me.
You're that guy. You're that
I am that guy.
Yeah. Is it like a DVD screen combo?
Yeah. Well, it's a little portable DVD player.
I don't know why I said that. Like if he was gonna bring like a TV and a DVD player,
Well, no, what the funny part is when I was younger, we had those small ass little portable TVs with the
Yeah.
handle on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad, we had a old Cadillac. He had he actually hooked it up. He took the back part off and he freaking hot wired this shit. He's a freaking mechanical freak. He spliced the wires for it to go into the cigarette lighter, and he had those boomerang limo antennas. He had that connected into it. So I was watching TV. It was just fun. That was the only time I liked driving.
Thank you for that story, Jay. I appreciate it.
I know it was good,
It
wasn't
was good. Splicing and all kinds of stuff. That was great.
Hot
We
wiring.
learned a lot
Yeah.
today.
We learned a lot today. We learned about motion sickness. We learned about
Hot wiring.
hot wiring and splicing.
Boomerang
I think-
antennas.
I think of those as like jail TVs.
They are
Pretty much.
Jay could tell you something about a jail TV.
May or may not.
May or not.
Yeah.
Those fuckers get flat screens. Anyway,
Oh,
so back to now that you've had time to talk about motion sickness, let's give it to let's bring it down even further. Katie, let's talk about virtual reality is on the horizon. It's coming out. What's an experience you would like to see on a virtual reality headset that you cannot experience in a traditional video game setting?
I'm not going to believe you anymore when you tell me you're not going to ask hard questions.
Do you even listen to the show?
Yeah, but you kind of just broke my trust here. Oh my gosh. Maybe like the physical aspect of like the boxing and being able to like, feel the force of the hit against somebody's face. I know that's really violent.
No, that's pretty cool because it's like it gives you like an incentive to play better. Like, let's say for example, if you're playing a boxing game and you're getting punched in the face, but you're getting punched in the fucking face, you'd be more likely to like maybe not block the punches with your face that much. I get it. No, I get it. That's pretty cool.
And be an outlet for your anger.
Yeah, I mean, you had a bad day at work and you just put the fucking settings on super hard and just stand there and let somebody punch you repeatedly in the face.
People are gonna think your husband beats you. Like, no, it's just a video game.
There's a 2-player game right there.
You got 3D lumps.
Yeah, I was playing fucking a wife beater knockout 5, and are they up to 5 already? Yeah, DLC.
It's a real hit.
They come out every 6 months.
It comes with its own free white muscle shirt.
It does.
And a bottle opener.
Oh man,
that was fantastic. So, see, I knew it was a good idea bringing Katie on the show because we needed some fresh meat. Wait, what?
Moving along.
Yeah. So, Gio, I'm not gonna get into the whole thing with you, but as an adult, what is a game that you would pay money to get developed?
Like growing up, I loved Ninja Turtles.
Right.
So I'm thinking like maybe like using like a Kinect or the VR, headset where you're the Ninja Turtle and your movements are actually hitting the bad guys, or like you moving your hands around like you got nunchucks or a sword, and actually you have to physically beat your opponents and like block it and stuff like that. Like I think something to that aspect I think would be pretty badass.
So you would think that, would you have the capacity to house something like that in your home? Like you'd have to physically get up and you'd have to be moving around like, not like a ninja, because I mean, come on.
Yeah, that
would be real. Make movements kind of like, slicing, whatever. That's just going right back to the Wii and the Wii U. You know what I'm saying? That they have that in some type of capacity.
Yeah,
and Kinect too.
I think this would be more appropriate for the Kinect.
Yeah, I think more for the Kinect. You have to stay in front of the screen. You obviously have to move things out of the way.
What if you didn't? What if you didn't have to stay in front of the screen? What if you put on a VR headset right now and you were Donatello or Leonardo, or whoever?
To take your ass outside and go do this ninja shit out there.
There you go.
A Bluetooth headset, and you're good to go. You ain't got to worry about breaking shit or hitting one of your children or you're beating your wife, number 6, like stuff like that.
There's this weird guy walking with a VR headset.
Why is he wearing a wife beater?
Muscle shirt.
Talking about the government. The government stole my baby. That's pretty funny. What do you guys? I want to. This is not on the agenda, but I want to. We're all daddies. We're all adults, and some of us are mommies. What are your guys' thoughts? And whoever wants to answer this question first, you go right ahead. What are you guys' thoughts on sexual content or pornography in the virtual reality space?
I'm not even touching that.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Like
I
that.
see what you did there.
Like that.
There will be a lot of people calling out of work. All the
I just
The
can't.
divorce rate would go skyrocket.
time. who
There's gonna be a lot
are
of-
you sleeping with? I don't know. Some chick in VR.
It's
Nah, I
Jake
don't
from
know.
State Farm.
And he's wearing khakis.
Well, he
Oh,
was.
was wearing khakis.
I bring it up only because there's been a recent surge in the interest, and a lot of people in the pornography industry, not a lot of people, a lot of companies are putting their best foot forward with virtual reality. And we're all adults here, and we can all talk about this civilly. Being able to put on a headset and being a part of the scenery in a pornographic film, and having your own private lap dances, having somebody not physically there, but in the virtual reality space, kind of cater to your needs in that aspect. What do you guys think of that? Like,
I think that's a
it-
very bad idea. You got kids now that play like GTA, where they can go and get a blowjob or whatever from a hooker and whatnot, and it even though it says mature rating, they're still playing it. Can you imagine a kid accidentally picking up that game?
Oh, that was no accident.
yeah, that's not an accident. That's like, how did
Yeah, I
she get
know.
pregnant? Oh, I fell on her with my penis. It doesn't work that way.
I thought this was Ninja Turtles, Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gio actually left fucking Backdoor Sluts 9 in his VR headset. Yeah, that's
I honestly feel like it would be exactly the same experience as GTA 5 on the next gen consoles in first person. Whenever kids go into, I would literally think it would be exactly like that for like the the simulation portion. But it's not going to be something that they're not going to touch. The porn industry has no shame, and this is something that it may not be done right or whatever, but they're going to do it anyways. You know what I mean? And I
There's
think
possible money into it. They'll definitely invest in it.
yeah, that they have no shame with
That
investing in
Kleenex.
anything.
That and Kleenex's stocks are going to skyrocket.
So there you heard it from the Big Baby Daddy
Big
cast.
Baby that
Money on Kleenex.
go buy your Kleenex stocks and go.
Before it runs out.
Please stop playing with yourself. Do it after the podcast.
Oh God.
That kind of segues us into our main topic of the day, and I think that we need to approach this as subjectively as we can. The main topic of the day, I'll just put it out there, and then we'll just snowball from that. It's the lack of female influence in games, whether it's on the development side or the actual in-game people, how they're portrayed, how women are portrayed in video games, and why are video games geared in the marketing sense and in the overall aspect of the genre to male audiences. And Katie, hi Katie.
Hi.
I'm gonna go to you first because you are our resident vagina holder. You own one.
That we know of for
That
sure.
we know of. That we really don't know. But what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think it's really geared more towards men. And, a lot has been geared towards like maybe teen males also. I don't think there's really a market for teen females or even adult females whatsoever. Unless it's like a cooking game or a dress up game or, running a store or something like that.
Well, we also have, we also got to keep in mind that while it's not prevalent, and I totally agree with you, we have games like Tomb Raider, which in that game, the main character is a female. That's not excusing the entire scope of, video games gearing more towards males, but you have a heroine in a video game she's a star. but out of that one game, there are hundreds more that don't even reference females, or even if they do, they're portrayed in an almost overly sexual way, with having large breasts, or they're extremely over sexualized. And just like you said, these games are geared towards teenage boys. I think the reason why is because the market, that's where the money's coming from.
Right.
Most games that actually you can portray a female is actually, besides Tomb Raider, would be like, the RPG games like Mass Effect, Star Wars, and World of Warcraft, shit like that. And
yeah, but
that's pretty much the only. Yeah,
you can portray a female character, but who's on the cover is Captain
exactly.
Shepard. It's a guy.
Well, you got to give it to EA though, because when they created Mass Effect, you could be a male Shepard or a female Shepard, and I don't know if you guys knew, but there were 2 covers for that game. There was a male Shepard cover and a female Shepard cover.
I didn't know.
So true, but canonically, with the timeline, the Shepard was actually a male though.
Well, canonically in the beginning he was, but then they gave you the option to be either or when you rebuilt him. Spoilers.
Yeah.
Damn it!
That's something they should add on with the next one. Not really a set name. That we male or female could be the actual canonical person for the game.
Well, before today, how much did you guys think? I mean, obviously we know Katie's stance on it because she's a female and she has a female daughter. Just like I have a female daughter, Manny has a female daughter, and so does Gio, and so does Josh. We all have female daughters. So why is it that now in like 2015, 2016, we're starting to see a push with the female lead more being a female? Is it because of what Katie was saying? Is because, people are getting kind of fed up with it just being males, 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 males. I personally am tired of them giving you the option to be a female. That's not enough.
Yeah.
For me, it should be, well, if you're going to make a video game, have the forefront to say, well, does the main character need to be I'm sorry, but typical white male? Can it be an Asian female? Can it be a black male? Can it be a Latina? I mean, I don't know off of the top of my head any Latina video game characters that I can name off at all. And I don't know if it's because, I don't really know the reason why, but speaking we, meaning the Hispanic community, is the second highest minority group, behind African Americans. So I don't really think there's an excuse other than the fact that the market is geared towards white, female, middle to teen to middle-aged males. Do you think that there should be a drastic change, or do you think that this change is going to come over time?
Man, that's a lot of questions that you just asked there.
Okay, so take one at a time, baby. That's how I like to roll. Big Baby Daddy Cast, you get 7 questions, go.
Well, in my opinion, I think that our progression, especially here in the United States, of how we were in the 50s and where we are now, that's definitely been reflected in our media. And there's always been some resistance to it. The way that we used to be back then, the way our parents used to think of what the roles of the house are for each individual person, those ideas have changed. And there's always a generation that lags behind those ideas, because the adults of the time that have that mindset are pretty much the ones that are running the show and creating the things that are working with those, and they are reflecting their ideas upon what they are creating. And so when the next generation comes with their new ideas, that's when that comes in. So right now you're bringing up a generation that pretty much is getting used to all these old ideas, or that's just archaic to think that way, to think that a male and female person need to have a specific role, whether it's at the house or whether it's in a game or whether it's in a movie, and right now where we are at is people like us are the ones that are creating the games, and people like us are the ones that are, talking about this, and just pretty much we are in control now. The old managers and the old people from back then with the old ideas, that's gone, and that's leaving. The baby boomers are almost out. And these ideas from the new generation are being reflected upon the media that is being displayed today. I feel like, when Katie started discussing like what games she would play, she specifically said the games that her brothers had.
Right.
Because parents thought that video games was the thing for boys to play. And that's how my mom thought too. And it's funny because my mother plays a lot of games now.
Yeah.
But back then she felt like,
does she play as a male or female character?
Oh, well, in her mind, if she can create a character, she wants to create somebody that she will enjoy looking at. So she always creates a male character.
Wow. That's great. That is fantastic.
And I love it because I'll create characters and I don't care. I'll do like, oh yeah, whatever. This is who I'm playing as. I don't really care how I look. And she's like, I can't play your character. Like, I remember I left my PS3 at home. And she looked at the guy I had created. She's like, he's too ugly. I'm going to have to start a new game, Manny.
Well, you know what? We've talked about this before, and I think me and Gio have discussed this. Is he always, laughs at me when I create a character, but a lot of the times, I would say 97% of the time, if given the option, I create myself as a female character. I did it in Destiny. I didn't do it in Fallout. But if most of the time, I would say like 90 to 97% of the time, if I'm chosen to create if you give me the option to create a character, that character is going to be a female character because, like you said, it's something not number one that you would like to somebody that you would like to look at. Two, it's something that we use video games to escape. So if I wanted to escape, I wanted to escape into somebody that I am a male. I am a male in my 30s. The last thing I want to do is be a freaking male in my 30s in a video game because I want it to be different.
A female in the 30s.
I want to be a female in my 30s. I'm curious to ask Katie. Katie, what do you, if given the option, what do you normally create your character? How do you create your character?
If I have the option, I usually play a female character.
Nice. Okay. What about you, G?
I'm not gonna lie, I pick a male character.
Okay.
I don't. For me, it's just like
there's nothing wrong with it.
I know. It's just like.
Do you create the character in your image, or do you create? It would be a character in your image.
Yeah, put him in my image. Yeah.
So now, this question is to you, G. Would you like to see more Hispanic lead role characters in video games?
Absolutely.
Why?
I think only because you get tired of seeing the same thing. In so many games, like you want to see something different, especially with everything going on in the world today. It's just like if you want to move, if you want to evolve, you want to be able to do something better, not better, but something different from your everyday. Like if you want to escape into something, then you want to be able to have a variety of different options in what you want to do and what you want to play and how you want to play and what kind of person you want to play into. So that's just my personal opinion.
So you think that there's more, Katie brings up a great point to where, like Manny said, she was playing the games that her brothers were playing. So it's been the geared demographic would be males, teens, whatever. Mm-hmm. Would you like to see more of a balance as opposed to almost like a revolution of, here's Call of Duty with all female characters, or here's a Ghostbusters movie with all female characters, or what would you like to see? Would you like to see more? How do you balance? I could say if you're just doing it on a gender perspective, then that's easy, 50-50, right?
Yeah, exactly.
50% males, 50% females. Everybody has an option. Everybody has a choice. Or do like what they were doing with the Mass Effect series. You'll have, one cover with the male character and then one with a female character. But now, since I can remember, video games have had the shader option to where you can adjust the shader. You can either be yellow, you can be orange, you could be black, you could be, you can have a Latino appearance. But that's not really what I'm talking about. What we're talking about is you have a character that's female, that's coming from a female perspective, okay? But now you have a Latina that's coming from a Latino background with those ideologies and that race and that history feeding her decisions in a game. Like,
I think by going to that extent, a lot of people are gonna feel iffy about it. I feel like people are gonna get butthurt, or they're gonna get offensive because what I say.
It's a butthurt.
Oh.
We are adults.
That part he's pretty much true.
You know, yeah, he is true, and we are all adults. I'm sorry, I apologize, but that just came out of left field, bro. Just you gotta warn me next time.
You said butt.
But then he followed it up with hurt, so it's like,
oh my god,
that's a double whammy
times two.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right,
people are just too
sensitive.
like, yeah, sensitive. That's the word I was looking for, but butthurt came out.
Well, I in the spirit of sticking to, I feel like we're getting off on a tangent here. I said we're gonna come, zero it back down on the female influence or the lack of female influence in games. So we know the reasons why. That's the demographic. We know because of what Manny said. We know why we're starting to see a shift and change. So, Katie, what do you want? What do you want to see most change? Like, what's your ideal? Let's say, what's your ideal environment that you would like to see eventually come out of the shift in how we think about video games, and in the sense of the female to male protagonist? Like, I want to see more female villains. Honestly, I want to see like an effective female villain. What do you want the landscape to look like eventually with the influence of female characters or the female influence video games?
Well, see, that's a good idea too. I never even thought about that. But I would like to see like more lead female characters in a game, and I don't want the female character to be like a total. I don't know what,
like a ditz,
or if she goes and saves like a man, I don't want her to be like a total bitch about it, like a big chip on her shoulder, like, hey, you're a man and I just had to save you.
Right.
I want it to be like, more equal, like she's helping the man or the man's helping her, not just like, oh, well, this female just had to go save this man and stuff like that.
Yeah, I see your point in that, to where you don't want the female to now just be a skin to put over the male dominated role. You don't want it just to be like, oh, well, instead of a male, we're going to use a female, but we're still going to have male tendencies, or we're going to still be looking at it in a male dominated environment. You want to actually maybe not be like, hey, I'm a female and let's put it in a Call of Duty setting for argument's sake. I took on this whole armada of enemies and now I'm here to save the guy. It could be something completely different. It can be something like, I wouldn't know where to come at what angle. Maybe you guys would have more of an idea.
I think what she's trying to say is you can't think of the other gender as a trophy, and when you save, when you save that person, like in Mario, when you save the princess, she's the trophy. Like, I got the princess, and she's the trophy, and then that's the big chip, as opposed to something more like. Whenever in Call of Duty you save Soap, you know what I mean? It wasn't a trophy, you know what I mean? It felt more down to earth, you know what I mean? More like, oh, we have to save this guy and whatever. So they put it into the story, and it wasn't like it wasn't like your typical classic game. Whenever you save somebody, it's like, ooh, got this trophy, and then
But I think it's been that way for so long. I think it's been that way. It's become the normal. It's become the way for so long that it's so hard for us to even think outside that scope.
But it's so simple to create a story around that. You know what I mean? Like that. Well, I think one of the biggest arguments that the people that make Rockstar, the people that make GTA, they were criticized that they haven't ever put a female character into their story, and they said, well, the stories that we make doesn't really fit the character that you guys are asking for. Like these are the characters that we are thinking about. But as time progresses and new ideas come out and new ideologies start coming into these games, it's going to be a lot easier for people to visualize a story that's going to, that's going to be more balanced because of, what other people are experiencing. Because usually that's what people build stories from, and that's where their creative talent comes from their surroundings. So I think we've got a very different demographic out there right now. And the creative talent that's going to start coming in may be thinking to what for us would be outside the box, but in reality, it's like, this is my experience. This is how I view things. There is a melting pot in my community, and it's easy for me to come up with a story where there can be a female person as the lead, and it makes sense to the context of the rest of the story, and it's not forced. Like I think there's this really good show or channel on YouTube, Feminist Frequency, with Anita Sarkeesian, where basically right now what we're doing is what she calls put a bow on it, and it's pretty much like, oh, I designed a male character, right, but I put a bow on it, and now she's a female character. You know what I mean? So right. That's what we're doing. It's so simple. The way we think now in game design is completely simplified.
It is. It's like you have a problem. You are, as the character, the solution, and the path in which you get to the solution is the story. But I think that too many times that simplistic nature of the problem, adversity, solution is always attached to a male stigma. To where now, if you change, like if you would change the Master Chief to the Master Chief is now Jane instead of John, the story would be almost diminished in the eyes of a person that's gotten so used to seeing the Master Chief as a male. And I think that if you just put a bow on it, you might drive away people from your product to simply putting a bow on it. Or in so doing, you would bring in more people from the female demographic, or even from the males that would want to see female characters in the lead roles in video games. So
I wanted to ask you, Katie, like, what game do you feel has gotten closest to actually getting what you're trying to look for in games and in the terms of the female role?
Well, I don't have too much experience just yet with the newer games, but I do play a lot of GTA, and it lets me be a female character, and if I want to lead a heist, I can lead a heist, and it doesn't have to be, just the man. And I'm right alongside a male character and doing just like he is. And it's, I don't get a lesser role just because I'm a female. So really GTA is kind of the only thing I'm used to right now out of the newer games.
I mean, but unfortunately with that aspect is just the online feature. Yeah. It would be good if they would incorporate like GTA, where you could play as a male or female, but the male side would be doing A, B, and C, and then the female character would be a completely different storyline doing doing her thing, completely different.
So that's actually I think that's a great stepping point into future conversations we could ultimately have as far as where the gaming genre is going to be going. I have good feelings of where we're headed with that in that regard, especially being a father of a daughter. That I would like to see more games have a female character influence, and not it being so drastic to where the female character has to save the world or the female character has to kill a bunch of enemies, because that's what Tomb Raider is. Tomb Raider, you're just going around with a bow and arrow shooting people, but that's great. But maybe something a little bit more, simplistic, not to cater to where you have to cook this or you have to design a dress or something like that. It's like maybe something that's kind of neutral. I mean, I don't know where that's going, but I would like to see it happen because, like I said, I always choose the female character anyway. So It'd be nice to be able to when my daughter picks up the controller, instead of having to pick Mario as a character, she could pick whoever and do the same thing that Mario does. Not
Right.
So
Don't stereotype us. Give us a choice.
damn straight. Testify.
Women power.
Boom. This coming. God.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no! I was gonna say this coming from the people that had named their podcast the Big Baby Daddy Cast. What are you gonna say?
But I don't think it should go so far as to like say a female character on Call of Duty and she's wearing all pink armor or anything like that. Don't make it too girly, because then that would be stereotyping also. But give us some armor that's a little bit more feminine, to where you can tell who's male, who's female.
Right. And please stop giving females so big breasts. Like they always do that. Like females in all video games,
especially in Mortal Kombat.
I swear. Like have you seen the new Street Fighter? Like, geez.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Woo. I used to date a female that had large breasts. Okay, let me just put this out there. Large breasts are not fun. They're fun to look at, obviously, to a point. But when you're sitting there with a female with large breasts and she can't lay on her back because she might suffocate through the night, I mean, God, your back must be killing you.
Yeah.
You got Chun-Li sitting there with her freaking and like she has triple D's. I don't know. Just trim them down a little bit. Just
It's definitely. It's definitely guys designing the.
Sorry,
Jay can't see it.
Yeah, I was doing the rubbing of the nipples gesture with my hands. But it could be anybody. You could have your male nipples. You can have them rubbed. Everybody. All I'm saying is everybody loves a good nipple rub. I'm just saying.
Let's take a
No
word.
comment.
The Gamermind Prime.
The Gamermind Prime XXX. Not the Gamermind. So that is a great segue into our news, and I'll have Manny take over the news portion of this podcast.
So I've got some very sad news, and I'm not going to be like Jay, where I'm going to give actual news. I'm gonna give gaming
I
news.
knew that was coming sooner.
It's dying over here. But yeah,
Before Manny continues, there's a couple things that I have to apologize for. One, I have to apologize for the video. The video stream is really bad. The audio is bad. Everything is bad. But we hope that what we're saying is kind of making you laugh.
but the content is good.
The content is
Exactly.
gold. You gotta. Where else can you hear 5 grown adults talk about rubbing nipples? Probably a lot of places, but you choose to do it here on the Big Baby Daddy Cast, and we thank you for that.
More like one adult talking about rubbing nipples and the other 4 just kind of nodding their heads like, "Oh, is he really doing that?"
Everybody's nipples are hard right now. I don't want to hear it.
Josh is like, that just happened.
I thought you couldn't see me.
Oh man. So game trailers, man. This is very sad to report, but game trailers after 13 years is closing up shop. And let's have a moment of silence and pour a little bit of whiskey on the floor for them. Goodbye, game trailers. We're gonna miss you. You were there. You were the first one to brought us quality video content, top 10 videos that we would always be watching, telling us what we need to play in video form. Your website used Flash the first time, and it was amazing. When we first went in there, we're like, oh my God, look at these websites, not like the other boring-ass websites out there.
Yeah, I would go to game trailers frequently for news on I still am a big Halo fan, and that's where I would get the majority of my Halo content would be from game trailers. So we're excited to see you go.
They
I just
brought
want
us
to tap the bill 10 times.
Yeah, right.
They brought us the Angry Video Game Nerd.
Yes,
like they brought us they had the Screw Attack show. Yeah. But yeah, it's sad to hear that they're closing up shop. But I hope whatever they decide to do next, I hope it's great. I hope they're able to do something because they had a lot of talent amidst their crew. Next piece of news that I got is Street Fighter V is out. And in classic Capcom form, there's always some sort of issue with the new release of this game. For example, this game now came out with a lack of a lot of features. It didn't have a story mode. It was just typical Capcom to kind of piecemeal a release and possibly, and I hope not, but possibly charge you more money for the rest of the game. So I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on this concept of releasing a game, you paying a full price on this game, and you're not getting the content that was there previously. Anybody can talk now. Anybody can just go in.
I think
with that. Yeah,
exactly. I got
exactly.
what you bargained for.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm all gonna answer at once.
Go ahead, Jake.
I think they probably would have made more money if they would have just added all the features and maybe add a story mode all at once and give it to the customer, and then possibly get more people to purchase the game rather than just giving them a little bit and hoping that that people will buy the extra stuff for it.
But we also got to talk about the genre. We're talking about a fighting game. What do you do in a fighting game? You just you fight. You don't go to the game for the story. You don't go to the game for. I mean, the thing that we got to remember is like this game is a fighting game, and they're gearing this game towards. I mean, I don't want to say professional fighting game players, but that's where they make their bread and butter. So, are you really concerned about the story in fight?
Each character, even Mortal Kombat, each character had their own, ending. You play the tower, and it will say, "All right, well, Sub-Zero, resurrected the Lin Kuei or some shit like that."
Right.
That was decent. You play a fighting game, yeah, it's cool for every now and then, but after that, it does kind of get a little boring.
Yeah, you have to have some type of goal, some type of like you beat the game, then you unlock this character, and then you could beat the game with that character. You can unlock somebody else. Yeah, it has to be.
Those things are not coming in as unlockables anymore. They're not doing unlockables. Don't even exist. It's like, we give you the game, and then you can purchase this character instead of you having to do something to get that character. Like just like Manny said, like they're gonna piecemeal every aspect of the game. Just like when you were playing the original Street Fighter, you will unlock, I don't know, Balrog, or you will unlock a new color for Ken or for Akuma, or whatever. Instead of you unlocking it, doing something for free, they're not gonna charge you for it.
And that's why you have people that try to hack and try to, put bugs and stuff where they could go around it and just unlock it without having to do anything. I think if they just freaking stop being butthurt and just freaking unlock this freaking thing, then they would have less problems and they would have more people buying their product.
The thoughts and feelings expressed by one Giovanni Pacheco do not necessarily reflect those of the GameOn.com.
Hey, Gio, they teaching you how to hack in school, man?
No comment.
He's kind of right, because a lot of the games come with that content in the disc. So it's like you have the content in your possession, but in order to fully utilize that content, you have to pay for it. It's mind-blowing. Like, I don't understand it.
It's typical Capcom. It's typical Capcom.
See, with that, you basically, because you're basically getting a game that's incomplete. So with that, they should drop the price then. Make it, make it, they might take a slight hit, but more and more people will be like, "Oh shit! Well, this game's actually pretty good. Oh, look, more content's going to come out," and then you could build on that, and then they'll get that money back.
That's just me feeling like they don't have any kind of hope in their game. Like it feels like, number one, they released it way too damn early, because what are you telling me? There's no story. Like, What are you waiting for? And then I'm like, okay, well,
Well,
they're
why do
waiting
you
for
think
people
it
to
took
buy
them so long to bring out the next one?
True.
Yeah, I feel like the story though in a fighting game kind of gives you something to look forward to while you're playing while other people are not there. Because I really enjoyed the Mortal Kombat 9 story and the Injustice Gods Among Us storyline.
Yeah.
Those two were great, and I played the crap out of those games with friends. But whenever they weren't home, I was like, oh well, let me continue the story, and it was great. I loved it. And then the extra. Here's the thing: like you've already have a pedigree of what kind of content these games should have, and then and Street Fighter 4 came out with all this content already in there, and now you're telling me that the next version of this game is going to give me less than what you've already given me before for the same price.
You're supposed to expect more than the last time.
I should either expect the same or more.
Exactly.
And it's not if it's a question that they were just running out of time and they needed to release this and then all the other stuff wasn't ready, then like Jay said, give it to me at a discounted price. You know what I mean? Because that will drive more sales because people will say, "Wow, the new Street Fighter V is only $30. I'm getting that even if I don't like Street Fighter V." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or if you paid.
Go ahead, you.
No, yeah, you go first.
And then when they come out with the story, but then now you say, okay, well, you're charging $30 for what in their eyes would be a $60 game. Then I heard that the story that's eventually going to come out is going to be free. So basically what I'm saying is that they wanted to release the game as fast as possible because they had to meet a deadline. And then they say, okay, well, we'll release this part of the game. And then later on, we'll release the other part of the game. We're not going to charge for it. Let's just say, for example, they're not charging for it. That doesn't explain the lack of features. So let's say that, okay, well, we're going to bring it out for $30 or $35. Now you're just opening up a can of worms and saying, okay, well, do you want the storyline? That's going to be another $15. Oh, do you want these extra characters in season 2? Well, that's going to be another $15. Like they just keep making excuses to keep making you want to put more money into the initial game.
But if the initial investment was low, it's a lot easier for you to look at an additional investment into that game a lot easier. Yeah, because if I for example, whenever the PlayStation Plus or the Xbox Gold gives me a free game, I am compelled to buy the DLC because I didn't spend a damn dime on it. So I'm like, well, the DLC is only $5, so I'm just gonna pay. I got the full experience of this game by paying my subscription and paying $5 that they put on special in the store. So it compels me to buy the DLC because I either got it at a discounted price, and I'll do the math. I was like, oh, I bought for example, Kingdoms of Amalur. Bought that game for $7 on whenever they had a sale, and then they put the DLC for sale, and the total investment for Kingdoms of Amalur, the full version, was like $25. And I was like, that's perfect. Yes, that's what I would have paid for this game originally. So to me, it compels me to spend more money if the upfront cost was lower. And sometimes, I probably, if they would have put that game out for $25, I probably wouldn't have bought it because generally my rule of thumb is that I'm not going to buy a game that's more than $20. That's my rule of thumb.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crickets. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next time.
That's a great point. I didn't even think about it that way because essentially you're saying, well, paying $25 for a game is a whole lot better than paying $60 for a game, and that's accurate. So
that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
That's it.
All right.
It's kind of like crack. It's kind of like crack. They give you just a little bit, and then you keep coming back from it.
I didn't know where this was going.
It's kind of like being butthurt on crack.
That just happened.
That was a thing.
So the HTC Vive, which is a VR headset, the price came out on this, and they announced it at $800.
And they can kiss my ass.
The thoughts of Jay do not
Yeah. Hey, I think I have to side with Jay, man. $800 is fucking steep.
You know, it's ridiculous that the VR headsets are this expensive, and I know the price will drop eventually, but the VR headset is not a standalone console. You need a computer that can run it, and probably your rig and my rig won't run it
together. So, if we fucking daisy chain them together, they wouldn't be able to run it.
Oh man,
crap.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I feel like they're just hurting themselves right now. I feel like they could possibly release this and take a hit on their profits in the hopes of making more sales instead of actually releasing it at whatever the full price is. And I think
Xbox what are you showing me though? What game have I seen that I got? Oh yeah, I gotta get the HTC Vive. I have to spend $800. I haven't seen not one game, and I'm pretty sure there's trailers out there for these things, but nothing stand out. They don't even have an IP that's pre-existing that would make me say, yeah, I would do that. You know what I think about when I think about VR? Porn. And you know what? I get porn for free. I'm not paying $800 for it.
Yeah. Plus, you already get something like VR. You get the little the Google box that you put on your head and you put your cell phone on it.
Yeah, you know what I got with VR? I got a fucking wife. That's what I got. That's my VR.
All right.
You think she heard that?
Yeah. I hope she didn't hear that.
Wait for the shoe to come in the
room. We won't tell her. Have you guys gone to the movies as of late? Because Deadpool is out. The reviews are out. And they're pretty much saying, is it Ryan Reynolds that's the main character? They're saying Ryan Reynolds pretty much did a great job as Deadpool. And
I am going to get... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No. I was just going to keep plugging Ryan Reynolds. Go ahead.
I am going to get punched in the face for this, but I saw it twice.
Yeah, you are.
And... oh man, holy shit, it was a very good fucking movie. They pretty much followed his storyline, but they kind of veered off from his original of when he was introduced in Wolverine Origins.
Oh yeah, but that was a crap movie.
Yeah. But man, but from when he was still, spoiler alert, from when he was still regular, like when they were on the plane and whatnot, they were doing introductions, blah, blah, blah. He still had that same smart-ass mouth. When he pulled out the file and went manicure to Wolverine and shit like that.
Yeah.
When they,
Even in Green Lantern.
Oh, that's another thing, too. Ryan Reynolds even made fun of himself for even making that film, too. He goes, spoiler, guys, sorry, but... it's just so fucking funny because he was like, "Just don't put me in a green suit and don't make me animated." I about died on that one.
That's funny.
It was a damn good movie, though.
I'm glad they're making superhero movies well, because I honestly feel that back then the superhero movies that we used to get, which is so bad, and
Batman was pretty good.
Well, which Batman?
1989, Michael Keaton.
Yeah. There are the exceptions, but a lot of the times superhero movies were like video game movies. Ugh. They're like, they would get the license and like, we need to do something with this, and then they did something, and then that was it. That something sucked.
Let me tell you about a little movie called Super Mario Bros. With John Leguizamo. About that movie. Do you know that Mario's name is Mario, and that Luigi's name is Luigi Mario? That's the only thing I remember for that movie.
I forgot about that.
It was good. No, it's Mario, Luigi Mario. Stupid ass movie. You don't need to make a movie about every fucking thing. Like they feel like they need to make a movie about everything. Like, oh, it's Mario. Let's make a movie about Mario. Oh, what was it? World of Warcraft is coming out. Well, the trailer was pretty cool.
Yeah,
but still, they're gonna find a way to fuck it up. Like I don't know. I don't know the last video game movie that I saw that was decent or halfway decent. Wreck-It Ralph.
Aren't they making a Zelda one too?
I haven't know about that.
I saw something on Facebook. I'm gonna look it up the next podcast. But they were making something a movie about Zelda.
what should be that video? It's like never
gonna give you up. No, let me now. Don't anybody answer this question. I'm gonna ask you a really serious question.
Oh God.
Okay, the main character of Zelda. What's his name?
And the game?
Yeah,
Link.
Okay.
Woo!
I hate it when people.
There you go.
I don't know why I went to Gio. I should have went to Katie.
Nope, I knew that
You
answer.
knew that answer? I hate it when people
I
reference
knew that one.
Zelda as Link and they make it that connect. I just hate when they do that. There's a lot of things in this world that
Oh,
I
you
hate.
did that as a kid, man. I was like, oh, I'm playing Zelda.
Yeah.
Is this Zelda? No.
Zelda.
What?
Because Zelda was a princess, correct?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
And there it was another
You know
male
why?
rescuing the female.
Uh-oh,
Yeah.
here we go.
See, I never really got into Zelda. I have to be honest. I had one game, and I was like on a regular Nintendo, and I just never played it. I just like, ah.
Yeah, it was a long distance relationship. You know, I was really not into her. Yes. You know, broke up.
Zelda, I didn't even know her. But well,
So that's what I got for the news. Deadpool.
hopefully,
and,
I want to go see Deadpool. I can't wait till I can actually emancipate myself from the big baby daddy duties and school, work, and just go see that because that looks like an awesome film. And
Yes,
the
I'm
fact
gonna
that
go donate blood this week. I get a free movie ticket. And watch Deadpool.
you're almost out of blood, G. You got to stop doing that. You're starting to look a little pale.
you just gotta stop changing your name every time you donate blood.
Yeah.
My name is Ramon.
Your name is Gio What was her name? Katie Hemmings?
Higgins.
Higgins.
Katie Higgins.
We'll save that one for next time.
Yeah, Katie Hemming is going to be on our next podcast, episode 13. That brings us to the email portion of the Big Baby Daddy Cast. Giovanni Pacheco, where can they send the emails to?
You can send us an email to thedaddycast@thegamermind.com.
He got it. A little hesitation, but he got it.
Did you not hear that he hit play on a recording? Like,
Damn it, Manny. But if you have any emails, concerns, you have any questions, please email us. You guys could also check out our Instagram as well as our Twitter page. And it is at the following of the Gamermind _ for both.
At the following.
Shut up. Following what I was going to say next.
It's not at the following. It's at. That was a good movie. It's at the Gamermind _ That's it.
That's what I said.
The following.
No, following is what I was going to say. Following after what I said.
okay.
Following.
Got you.
Like following this statement.
Oh, excuse me, college boy.
Oh man. So yeah.
So who loves us today?
Who loves us today? Who's the email from today?
Yes, we have one email this week, and it is from Jenny from Miami.
Jenny from Miami.
Jenny from Miami. Is she Jenny from the block of Miami?
One of the blocks of Miami.
Oh,
She asks, oh, here it goes. She asks, how do we manage to find the time for all of us to get together for these podcasts?
We don't.
it's a very, very long process since we have to wait for G.
Yeah, we got to put in these forms for G, like the time request form, and then G has to sign it, and then we
have to get a
review
permission
it.
slip signed.
That's why it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, at least 2 weeks in advance.
No, I'm saying that's why it's been 2 weeks since our last one.
And
It wasn't
if
my fault.
if we don't follow the procedure as specifically as the form says, then Gio will void it, and we'll have to start over, and
It's a
it's just messy. Yeah.
Yes.
All this bureaucracy to get this show done, I can't believe it is.
I would
If
say
we agree at one time for a time, we have to at least give ourselves an extra 45 minutes for us just to get on the same page.
right.
And then an extra 45 minutes to do a sound check, agenda.
But you forgot the extra 45 minutes to bullshit. You know,
It's the next 45 minutes.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah, it takes us about almost 3 hours before you get started. And about 45 minutes into the show, I'm already rushing. Like, hey guys, like the time, I gotta go, take a crap or do something.
Well, Gio, complaining is not gonna help.
Yeah, they just ignore me.
So that's a good answer for that question. It's a lot of planning. It's a lot of getting everybody's schedules on the same wavelength, which it proves to be quite difficult. But despite all that, we get it done.
One way or another.
One way or another, we get it done, and we appreciate you guys being patient with us and visiting the site. And we love it. We love you guys. We talk a lot of shit, but at the end of the day, you keep us going. So you keep visiting the site, you keep giving us likes, and you keep watching our YouTube videos, and it's great. I mean, every day I go on and I see that, Manny's video has 53 views or mine has 82. We're not talking about thousands and thousands of people. Just anybody watching our stuff is a big deal. And the fact that we were able to bring Katie on for this podcast, I hope that we've met or exceeded your expectations in the fun factor, as well as balancing it with the serious talks about the shit that we talk about.
Shit we talk.
Like Doc McStuffins.
It is serious, but it's serious shit.
Yeah, serious about her shit.
It's butthurt stuff.
And make sure you guys stay tuned. We got some interesting and some outrageous things coming out within the near future. So stay tuned. It's going to be awesome. And we thank you for listening today.
Also tell your friends. We want those 1,000 hits.
Yes, please tell your friends.
Yes.
Katie, tell your friends. Tell your friends.
All your friends.
I guess so. I'll try.
I love the passive aggressiveness. So before we go, Katie.
Yes.
What do you see? What do you see yourself with the Gamer Minds? What do you feel that you can contribute to us as a? What can we do better in your eyes?
She's the voice of reason.
She is becoming the voice of reason. Yeah.
I don't know.
Take your time. Don't worry.
Have to get back to me on that one. What could you do better? I don't know.
Well, how about this? What do you feel that you could bring to the GamerMind.com?
My charm and wit.
Damn straight.
There you go.
And your ability to answer questions in a timely manner.
Yeah, it sounded like she snapped her fingers on that one.
No way, no how.
Josh practiced that for 3 hours before the show.
Well, I'm excited to have a female influence with us here at thegamermind.com, here on the Big Baby Daddy Cast, here with you guys. And I thank you guys for joining us. That'll be it for episode 12 of the Big Baby Daddy Cast. I am your host, Josh Vasquez, here with Giovanni Pacheco.
Deuces.
Manuel Santiago.
What?
Josh Sims.
Have a good night, everybody.
And Katie Hazamahalamahat.
A different last name each time.
Yes. Higgins.
Yeah.
Take care and keep gaming.
Later, guys.